Hello everyone. It's a long time since I've done a video. I don't know what order they're going to go out in, but I've got one that's part filmed on how I've managed to sort of bodge up, sort of fix the rear doors on my Morris Traveller. But this video, which I think what I'll do as a separate video from that, is all about preserving the wood. So in previous video, I've shown how I've sort of started to fill these holes, although they're not fully filled. So there's these holes where it's rotted around the drain holes, and there's also these holes at the top of the rear post. I've also sanded off or scraped off quite a lot of the wood. Since I think the last video that you'll have seen, I've also taken some of the wood off of this door, but there is something coming up that means I need to get some wood preserver on it, which I'm going to be using this stuff here, which I'll go through in a minute. But in a few weeks' time, in October, so it's the last week of September at the moment, so about 3 weeks' time, I'm having my heat pump fitted, and that means for a week my Morris Minor needs to be living out on the drive, because they need to be have access to the through the garage, and there's going to be scaffolding on the drive, so it needs to be at the front end of the drive beyond the scaffolding, and that means it's going to be out in the wet. I've got a car cover, so I will put that on. I might only put that on when it's due to rain though, so it's not on all the time. I'm not sure. But it does mean where there's bare wood, I need to get some treatment on it. So I have done this job before, when I previously fixed the roof, the rear roof to the cab roof join, and I replaced this bit of wood in here. I think I've mentioned before how it's gone a bit mouldy from condensation. That was from when I used to have it permanently, the car permanently outside and under a cover, and it just sort of sweated a bit. But anyway, it means I've already got the stuff to do this, and I made notes when I did it before of what's needed. So I'm going for a microporous finish, so a breathable finish rather than a varnish, because the varnish, which I think is what it's got on it now, tends to, as soon as you get a crack in the varnish, water gets in, it can then get stuck behind the varnish and sort of rot unseen. But with the microporous, the idea is that it's as the name suggests, is porous, so any moisture is allowed to can evaporate back out again. But there's two steps, so it's the first step is a 50-50 mix of the Sikkens Cetol or Cetol HLS. So that says there it's a where's the English? Exterior satin base coat and wood stain. And then you mix that 50-50 with Cuprinol wood preserver, and you can do this in different colours, but I've gone for the clear, so it would just be hopefully a similar colour to the wood below. But this is for actively prevents rot and decay for use before external painting, staining or varnishing. And then the top coat will be this maximum durability satin wood stain. So actually, yes, although that's clear and you would see the wood through, this is what actually gives it the colour. I'm hoping it will mean that areas like that won't show as much, but that's kind of what the experiment is. But yeah, so this is the top coat. The Sikkens, assuming that's how you pronounce it, Cetol Filter 7 Plus. I think the idea is it allows the water to come out. But where I've sort of got this information from is from the book, the Morris Minor Traveller Complete Companion book, by Newell. But there's a section in it by Steve Foreman of Woodies. Woodies are based not actually that far away from me, so one day I might go there and try and get some like offcuts maybe for repairing the rear posts. But anyway, I'm gonna mix up my 50-50 mix and put some on. It says to do it, says the colour will darken when dry. Apply 2 coats wet on wet, then let it dry for up to 1 hour. Wipe off excess with a dry rag. And then you put the top coat on. 3 coats of that. So yeah, I'm gonna see how this goes, and I will let you know. So progress update on the wood treatment. You can see there the filled stuff is more orange. I went over where all the wood has been sanded. I've done at least 2 coats, and then I had enough left that I've gone over all the wood now, even though it's still got varnish on it. I figured it won't do any harm, and then if there is any gaps, cracks in the varnish, this treatment will soak in. I didn't mix very much up. There's about a centimetre depth, maybe a bit more in this butter tub, and that was enough to go around the whole car. At least 2 coats, possibly more in some places. But I've got a bit left, so I thought I'd just show you how it works. So these, I took these off years ago. These are the internal capping pieces for the B-pillars. So that hole there is where the seatbelt mounts through. But I thought I'd just show you how easily this goes on, and how it completely changes the look of the wood. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like when it's dry, but when it's wet, it looks really good. But yeah, just goes on really easily. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with that until I've used all this up, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's dry. So it's a few days later now. Everything's dried out. It's not sticky at all. I think it's made where there was the bare wood, so here and on the door over there, and these 2 capping pieces, it's definitely got a bit darker, sort of a richer colour. I realised I think you're always going to see this repair, but I'm okay with that. It's just part of the character, history of the car. I might do a few more coats of that mixture, that 50-50 mix, before I do the top coat. But I've got a bit of time to do that before the car needs to go outside. And so I'm going to end this video here. Thank you for watching.